What's up guys, Hunter Knesny here. Welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to talk fall bass fishing and just really kind of get into where are the fish this time of year, where you're most likely to find them, what baits to throw, that kind of thing. So really kind of all things fall bass fishing. So here in Arizona, fall's been just a little bit behind, and it's been pretty hot until recently, but we just had a big storm system roll through and it seems like it finally set us into that kind of fall pattern here. So moving forward, I expect the fishing to really kind of pick up, and it can be a lot of fun in these coming months. This can honestly be one of the most fun times to fish throughout the entire year. Fish just tend to be really aggressive. You can catch them on a lot of different baits. You can throw the baits that are fun to throw. It's a fun time to be out there, and it's something you guys should definitely take advantage of, and I want to make sure that you guys are most successful while you're doing it. So to start off, let's talk about where the fish go this time of year, and then we'll kind of get into the baits. So during the fall, the fish can really be a lot of different places, but what's generally going to happen is they're going to kind of more throughout the entire lake get shallower in general. So throughout the whole summer there, I mean, there was shallow fish, but a lot of the times it seemed like the bulk majority of them were going to be in 20 to 30 feet in most of the lakes around here. This time of year, really anything 20 feet to 0 feet can be thriving and hold a lot of fish. So those fish are going to kind of pull from that main lake type structure and generally going to kind of congregate more around the coves and get shallower. So if there's shallow vegetation, trees, anything like that, they can really start to kind of pile up in there. So you go from the majority of the fish kind of being out deep on the main lake points, the deep humps, things like that, and they kind of disperse more towards the shallows. So now you can catch them in the back of the coves. I mean, you can catch them on secondary points. You can really catch them in a lot of different places, but it just really opens the array of options that you have in areas that you're able to be successful in. It's not like the summer where it's just the majority of the time you're going to be most successful in that deeper water. You can get shallow now and have a good time. So what the fish tend to be doing this year is really trying to kind of bulk up as the winter months are approaching quickly. So they really tend to be keyed on shad and really focusing heavy on eating bait fish there. So to get into specific baits, throwing any kind of bait fish imitation is generally going to be very effective this time of year. So we're going to start out shallow and kind of work our way deeper here, but I mean, I wouldn't really be talking about fall bass fishing if I wasn't mentioning topwater. So having a good walking bait is definitely something that can work very effective this time of year. And the benefit to throwing a walking bait is you can really cover a lot of water and fish fast effectively. But on top of that, it's just a good effective bait that the fish really can really smash at times, and you can catch a lot of fish. You can catch big ones doing it. So having a good walking bait is definitely something I would recommend this time of year. These are a few options that I've had good success on. So this one right here is the Evergreen Shower Blows. This is the 125 size, so this is kind of the bigger one. I think it's 5 inches or so, but that one's a little bit of a more subtle bait. So if you're fishing clear water, if you're fishing highly pressured waters, sometimes having that subtle option can be a little bit better. This is the Reaction Innovations Vixen. This is kind of the more obnoxious loud bait. So this is one I've just thrown over the years and had a lot of success on. It's my personal favorite. It just flat works. As far as colors, having some kind of shad color like this is always a great option. And then bone has been my personal favorite for many years now. So I really like throwing the bone, and I mean at any lake really. I mean, I've caught them in clear water at Lake Pleasant with it too, but the bone works great if the water's just a little bit dingier. If the water's super clear, sometimes throwing a little bit more natural type colors like this can be the ticket there. So experiment with both, but this time of year, if the fish are feeding, I mean, I don't think the color is probably going to be too much of a make or break thing. So throw what you got and you're probably going to catch some fish. Hey guys, I just wanted to interrupt the video for a quick second and remind you, I'm doing a real giveaway at 2,000 subscribers. So if you want a free Corrado MGL, Daiwa Tatula, something along those lines, all you have to do to be eligible is hit that subscribe button. So make sure you're subscribed, and I'd love to give that reel away to you. So keep on moving along on this video, and I hope you enjoy some fish. So another topwater option. once again, I wouldn't be talking fall bass fishing if I didn't throw in a buzzbait here. So a buzzbait kind of has some of the same advantages of the walking baits there, where you can really cover a lot of water fast. But the advantage on this one over the walking bait is these are very, very weedless, and you can get this through the cover good. So buzzbait's one of my favorite things to throw when I'm throwing topwater. You can get that right through the trees. They do fairly decent in toolies and things like that as well. And you can just get that thing in places that you're not going to be able to get the walking bait with those treble hooks. And on top of that, you catch big fish, and you can catch a lot of fish on a buzzbait. It's just a bait that flat works. So buzzbait's definitely one you should be throwing. I generally steer more towards kind of the white shad type colors to start. But if the water's pretty dirty, like we've got a lot of rain here recently, and it's definitely dirtied up some of our lakes. If the water's pretty dirty, then I like mixing in some chartreuse in there as well. And then another little trick, I like putting a trailer, so this is just a standard fluke. This one's kind of been beat up, this bait's been thrown a lot, but just a standard fluke, and what that does is it just helps give a little bit more profile to the bait where the fish can really key in on it, and it makes you land more where they don't blow up on it and miss. So that's a little trick there. Moving down the list, so I'm going to kind of lump some this category into a few different things, but having your kind of skirted bait, so your swim jig like I have right here, chatterbait, spinnerbait, things like that, those things really, really can shine this time of year. So if you pick up like a 3/8 to ½ ounce of any one of those baits and just kind of cover some water, really focusing on that like 0 to 8 foot range this time of year, you can really do some damage. I've noticed in the dirtier water having a little bit more vibration, so maybe like your spinnerbait or your chatterbait can really shine. If it's a little bit more clear water, a little bit subtler, having something that's a little bit more natural like this swim jig can really shine. I always like throwing shad type colors with these, and you're gonna catch fish if you throw these this time of year. It's the perfect time to do it, so take advantage of it. And these things are fun to throw. I mean, you can throw them through the cover, you can throw them in open water, you can do a lot of different things with them, and it's fun. So give that a shot. The next ones I'm going to get to, I'm going to give you two categories, but we'll start off with shallow first. So crankbaits. So you got your square bills, you got your medium / deep divers, but we'll start off with the square bills first. So square bill is honestly probably my favorite kind of shallow moving bait over like a spinner bait or swim jigs or things like that. I've caught more fish on square bills personally. I have a lot of confidence in them, and they just work. So that's going to be kind of where I'm generally going to steer towards, but you don't have to get too crazy with this. So you're going to want to throw something that's roughly the size of the bait fish. So whether that's like the 1.5 size or 2.5 size, or with like 6 cents here, you have like your 50 and your 100. Smaller bait fish, you're going to throw the smaller size. If you have bigger bait fish, throw the bigger size. If you have a lot of big fish in your lake, then probably throw the bigger size. And then if the water's dirtier, you can get away with throwing the bigger one as well. But if it's clear, you want to be more natural, and throwing the smaller one might be better. So having a couple colors, if your water's pretty clear, throwing just like a natural shad type color is going to be perfect this time of year. If your water's pretty dirty, like once again I said we got some rain here, so we did get some color to some of the water. Having something that's a little bit more bold if you're throwing in that kind of muddy water can really be the ticket. So definitely something you should be doing this time of year. On top of that, there's also going to be some fish that are a little bit deeper. There always is, so you can still kind of target those points and structure and things like that. I would say it's not a bad idea to just fish it a little bit shallower now. So instead of fishing that 20 to 30 foot range like you were in the summer, maybe kind of fish that like 10 to 20 range can probably be the ticket for you this time of year. So to do that with the moving bait, got a few different options here, but I mean, a deep diving crankbait is just something that flat works. I mean, you get big fish, you get numbers, you can really get on them good sometimes. But here's a few different options of ones that I've had good success on. So this is the River to Sea Tactical DD. That's going to be kind of a subtle option. You can really move that thing fast too, so that really works well. I think that one goes probably like around 15 feet or so. You can fish it effectively. You got your Mega Bass Deep X 300. So this one's going to be pretty similar to that that tactical DD. The noise is just a little bit different in it. It's more kind of just a one knocker type noise. So that's going to be a little bit more subtle than even the tactical DD. See what you can hear here. And it goes just a little bit shallower, so if you're fishing that like 12 to 14 foot range, it's going to be about perfect for that. And then another option, this is going to be kind of your aggressive crankbait, is like a Strike King 5XD. So once again, you could probably fish this 12 to 15 feet, but this one's going to have a much wider wobble and just be more aggressive in general. So what I would say is probably the key. I mean, this Mega Bass one, you can throw this in any water and catch fish, along with any of these really, but if you're in kind of that more clear water, I'm going to say the more subtle you go is probably going to be better. If you're in super dirty water, then throwing something that's more aggressive, that's more aggressive like this Strike King can be the ticket. So give those a shot. I mean, you're going to catch fish this time of year doing it. It really does work good. And like I said, this is more going to be that like 10 to 20 foot range you're targeting with those kind of baits. And then to throw in kind of just the guarantee, doesn't matter what body of water you're in, if you're fishing a pond, fishing a big lake, fishing really anywhere, the drop shot. So I know not everyone loves it, but if you just want to go out and catch fish no matter what, that is almost always going to be kind of your surefire way to do that. So with the drop shot, you're generally going to be fishing a little bit deeper. So if you want to target that like 10 to 20 foot range, and I mean, you can go deeper too, 10 to 30 we'll call it, but around 15, 20 is probably going to be kind of that butter zone. You can really do some damage this time of year as well, and even though it's not really necessarily a shad type bait, those fish are still feeding aggressively, and it's something you can really load the boat with. So if you guys that just want to go out there and catch fish every time, that would be my recommendation. But hope you guys find this video helpful. Like I said, the fall can really be a fun time of year. It's been kind of a weird fall so far here in Arizona. It's kind of like the summer dragged and it just didn't really change, and the fish were in a weird mood. But I think now that we had this big storm roll through and kind of kick things along, and the temperature's actually finally a little bit cooler, I think we're seeing like 60-degree mornings now, maybe even in the low or the high 50s, and highs of around 80 or so. So now it's kind of really that true fall weather. I really think the fishing is going to pick up good here in the next few weeks. So hope you guys found this helpful. Make sure and hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one.